These are the notes for some of the word problems for quadratics. I'll do a couple of them, then you can finish the other ones. So they're giving us an equation, and we want to look at what the letters stand for. So H stands for height, T stands for time. So first question is, how high above the water is the jetty? So we have something like this where he's diving, and he's going to hit the ground. He's going to hit the water right here. So how high above the water? We're talking about this value right here. How long does it take for him to reach the maximum height? So that's a time, that's a height. Both of those can be found by finding the vertex. How far above the water, how far above the water is at his highest point? Sorry, that's the vertex. How high above the water is the jetty is what he jumped off of. So that's this thing right here. That's actually the y-intercept, but it's also a height. And how long does it take for him to hit the water? So we're finding the 0 right here where this thing happens. So let's find the vertex. When in doubt, start out by finding the vertex. It's going to answer at least 2 of the questions. And we'll also find the y-intercept. And that will usually answer one of the questions. And you could actually do this first and then read the problem later. So let's start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x equals 0 or t equals 0. So I'm going to find h of 0, which means I'm going to plug in 0. So h of 0 is 3, because 0 plus 3. So the thing is 3 meters above the jetty. So that's actually right here. This is 3. That's where he's jumping off of. Now we're going to find the vertex. There's my A, there's my B, there's my C. So the vertex is the opposite of B over 2A. So 1/2 is the vertex, or 0.5. That's also the line of symmetry. If you look at your parabola. So this is the time. So how long does it take for him to reach the height? That's the answer for the time. Time is 1/2 of a second. And then we have to plug it back in to find the y-coordinate. So 1/2 squared, 4 times 1/2 plus 3. That's -1 plus 2 plus 3. That is 4. So the vertex is 1/2 4. So he is at 4 meters when he's up here. So the vertex is 1/2 4. The vertex tells you 2 answers. The last question, how long does it take for him to hit the water? Well, the height when you hit the water is 0. So I'm going to go to my height equation and plug in 0 for height. And this is where we solve. And you can either factor or you can use the quadratic formula. Since we're just learning the quadratic formula, we're going to do that. So A, B, and C. The opposite of B, plus or minus B squared minus 4 times A times C, all over 2A. And be careful. You might want to use your calculator here, but we have 2 negatives, so that's going to really be a positive. So the square root of 16 plus 48 all over -8. And then it's just a matter of simplifying. So -4 plus or minus 8 over -8. So we have -4 plus 8 over -8 and -4 minus 8 over -8. So that is going to be 4 over -8. That's going to be back here. We don't need that one. We need the positive one. I don't know if you can see that or not. we need to do the second one. So that's negative 12 over negative 8, which reduces to 3/2. So after 1.5 seconds, he hits the ground. Go to the second one. I'm not even going to read the problem. I'm going to find the vertex. So P of x equals negative x squared plus 20x. I know I'm going to use the vertex. There's no C here, so I'm just going to put a 0 there. Opposite of B over 2a leaves me with 10. And then I'm going to find P of 10. So negative 100 plus 200, that equals 100. So my vertex is 10, 100. And the first one is the x. The second one is the P. So how many necklaces should he make to maximize the profit? So how many necklaces? X, that's 10. And the maximum profit that they make is 100. We know this is a parabola that goes up and down like this. So we're just finding that maximum value. So when in doubt, find the vertex. It's going to be the answer to 2 questions. Look at the second page. And so this time we're throwing a stone off of a cliff. And the cliff is 60 meters above the sea level. So again, here's my equation. If I find the vertex, it's going to tell me 2 of the maximum answers. So I have a maximum height. So that's going to be h, or the y coordinate. Or I mean the time for the height. Sorry, I didn't underline that. And then this is going to be finding the actual maximum height. So when I find the vertex, I know 2 answers. And then I'm going to solve to find the third answer, because the third answer says, when does it strike the water? And all of these kind of follow the same format. So it's thrown up in the air. This is your answer. Use the quadratic formula, A, B, and C. Number 8, find the maximum minimum value of the function and the value of x for which the maximum. So again, find the vertex. In this case, it's x and y. And the place for which it occurs is x, and the actual value is y. Average cost of televisions per week. How many televisions should be made per week to minimize? So in this case, it's a minimum, but still the vertex. So it says how many televisions. That is x. X is the number. And then you actually find the minimum, and that's going to be our C. So when you find the vertex, it's xc. And x is one answer and c is one answer. And then you use that information to figure the last part out. The last part out says the cost is 200 per television. So I go back up here. 200 equals x squared minus 40x plus 500. To solve, I need to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to bring the 200 over. And I'm going to use the quadratic formula. You can try to factor it if you want using guess and check, but probably quadratic formula with word problems. So again, reviewing all of these problems, the vertex is 2 of the answers. So find the vertex right away, see which answer it goes along with. You can finish the rest of the problems on there.